We love you, Marco, so much for so many reasons. First of all, I've always been a dancer. That's what I believe anyway. My mum describes it that I was a little kid that if there was music on, I danced. And that's where it all started for me. I started training properly when I was 4, started doing ballet when I was 8. At 12, I got into the College of the Arts in Melbourne, the VCA. At 15, I went full-time to the National Theatre. At 16, got into the Australian Ballet School. And then while I was at the Australian Ballet School, which was my life dream and my wish, a gentleman called David Atkins brought a show to town called Dancing Man. And I went to see that show with my mum, and I was sitting there in a theatre. I remember it vividly, and I'm a little hypersensitive anyway, but I was bawling my eyes out. And my mum looked over, "Are you all right?" And I said, "This is what I want to do." 2 weeks later, he had an audition in Melbourne, and I was lucky enough to score an audition. And then I got into Dancing Man, so I left my dream to be a ballerina and a ballet dancer, and then pursued a career in musical theatre and commercial dance. And I never looked back, and I love my life, and the full circle nature of my life being to be able to sit here today. I know you'll see me as this guy, but I don't feel like that guy. I just feel like you, the chorus boy. Nothing's ever changed for me. Hopefully all of you will be up here one day too, and that you'll feel the same way. Jace?
Same, exactly the same, yeah. It's funny because I just had a conversation with somebody who took my class, a young man about 21 years old, and I told him that I didn't start dancing until I was 17. And so he was actually really excited about that because he didn't start till he was 18. And I think 2 things about that were really pivotal for me. Number one, I always felt behind all these great, young people that had started from when they were younger, when they were 3 or 4 or 5, I always felt behind. So I have always my whole life had this feeling of, I need to work harder, I need to train harder, I need to catch up to everyone. And that gave me a great work ethic, I think, which then led me to, opportunities really quickly. And the second thing was that I never said no. Whatever the opportunity, whatever the genre, whatever the position, whether it was in a suit of fur or as a pink butterfly with gold lame wings or dancing with Mia Michaels or doing Cirque du Soleil, from the smallest and craziest to the biggest, I never said no. And so for me, I still have that. I still have both of those things with me. I work as hard as I can to achieve those dreams and goals, and I never say no. Yeah.
I think for me, dancing, there was never an option. I was going to be a dancer, and there was no other choice. And so, so from a very young age, I was dancing. And at 16, a choreographer took a chance on me and put me in one of Australia's dance companies. So I was very young to start working with a dance company at 16. And actually then, Jason Coleman, I met you when I was 18, and we worked together for a short amount of time. And I don't know, Jason will remember this, but he told me to go overseas. He said, "I reckon you'll go great overseas." And 8 years later, I came back and I had the most wonderful time overseas, dancing in London and Italy, and then in Las Vegas with Mia as well. Fabulous opportunities. And then to then come back and enjoy my career here in Australia later in life is fantastic. To start exploring choreography, I've loved, and to be involved with the contemporary dance community as well, just love it. So thank you for that advice a long time ago. Yeah.
For me, I started when I was 3 years old, and I was extremely serious about it at 3 years old. So I decided that's exactly what I was going to do. Give me every private lesson, take me to people who can stretch my muscles the right way so I can be flexible and strong, and I was very serious at a very young age. So my first performance opportunity came up for me with the Queensland Ballet Company when I was 11. And I did a soloist role with them at a young age, and from there they decided to take me on and train me up to be in their company. So I spent the next few years training with them, and then joined the company when I was 15. At a very young age, I did night schooling, so I did school from 7 till 11 at night and worked full-time 9 till 6, 5 days a week. So it was a really full-on time for me when I was very young. But it really gave me a lot of maturity, both in the studio and on stage, and I gained a lot of knowledge in working with a company. So I knew how to work with the costume department, I knew how to work with hair and makeup, directors, the marketing company, all these different things. So I had all this experience, and I really was able to make use of that when I quit the company and went on to So You Think You Can Dance. And so all of that stuff really helped me when I was on the show, because I was more than just someone who had just been in the dance studio. I really had a lot of outside knowledge in how the industry worked, you know, all the business stuff behind the scenes. And from there, the show has really, it definitely opened my eyes to longevity in this career. So I'm no longer stuck just being a ballet dancer who would probably have to quit when I'm 30 because I don't want to put pointe shoes on anymore at that age. You know, I can really lengthen out my career. I do whatever comes up. A film clip, I'll dance behind anyone. I'll then go and do some company work. I've been working in New York City for the last 6 months. So it's just opened my eyes to a lot more out there and gave me the connections and gave me a great name and a great starting point to really put myself out there in everywhere in the industry. So.